Namaskaram, Bhagavad Githa, 4th chapter, sloka 21. In this sloka, Bhagavan says, free from expectations, sense of ownership, with mind and intellect fully controlled, they incur no sin, even though performing actions by one's body. So this is what Lord Krishna says in this sloka. In this sloka, he talks about the intention of mind towards action, how we involve our mind with thoughts to do any action. So, how those thoughts have to be erased, because the thoughts only take us to negative actions, and thoughts keep us away from divine consciousness. So here he talks about those who work in divine consciousness are released from sins, and mind is free from attachment towards objects, attachment towards people, and every act is performed with divine intention and pleasure, and for pleasure of God. If it is done that way, even if you do karma, that karma will not have any reactions. So he is highlighting here the status of karma yogi, because everyone has to perform the karmas. So when karma yogi following all this, and he does karma for the body, but there he will not get into sins. There will not be accumulation of sins. For example, when you are visiting a temple, and when you visit temple, the place where you are, we have to maintain silence. It's a divine place where you have got vibrating power. That vibration is associated with the God's power. So naturally you feel the divinity, and your mind should be full of thoughts about God. Either you should be chanting mantras, or you should be recalling what you read about the God. So everything should be, all your thoughts should be only around God. So that stops you from talking. So you don't feel like talking, because the mind does not allow you. Because mind is full of thoughts about, so mind is thinking of only God. So the intellect is not allowing you to talk. So you are not talking there. So this comes automatically, because the mind which is functioning with thoughts. So that we have to give such thoughts to our mind. The same way when you enter library, there we have to maintain silence, so that thought is there that we should maintain silence there, we should not talk. And those thoughts, not to talk, and the knowledge we receive from that, and the thoughts of books, what do? They quiet down our body, so that there is no reaction from it. That is, we don't show any action, because mind is full of thoughts, and intellect says not to make noise. So what happens? There is a fence created around our mind. So we don't shout, we don't make noise there in such places. So the mind is tuned to remain silence. Lord Krishna says this. He says, you contemplate on higher ideal. So when you contemplate on higher ideal, naturally you will not give attachment towards body and mind. So you will be thinking of only Atma. You will seek for Atma Jnana when you are contemplating on higher ideal. So that God always says you have to think of only higher ideal. So mind and body will automatically become quiet when you contemplate on higher ideal, because it is not mind is not functioning on its own because it has got good thoughts, divine thoughts, because you are giving the divine knowledge, you are giving the spiritual knowledge to the mind. So the thoughts are also divine. And the intellect is intellect's controlling mind. The same way, when we earn something and out of that money we buy some objects, what do? It is my money. I out of my money I bought it. So you get into that. When you visit any foreign country, you buy some certain goods. Then you feel proud of it and you claim that it's yours. So what happens? The ego gets inflated there. So and you attach yourself to the objects and you feel proud of that ownership and you become slave to those objects. It is not good because that ownership should not be there. We should behave on the earth like renter versus owner. God is the owner for everything. So whatever is available on the earth, the nature provides, created by God. And the knowledge converts the raw materials into finished products. So how can we claim that it is ours? So you be like a renter. Your God is the owner and you are just enjoying it for time being as a renter. So if you develop that thought, then we will not identify ourselves with body, mind, intellect and objects. Instead, we will identify ourselves with Atma. So I am Atma, I am not Deham. So this concept will be developed in our mind. So naturally what happens? We have all the qualities of Karma Yoga. We will not claim ownership. Our body and mind is fully controlled, and even we do activities relating to body, we will not have sins out of that karma. This is what explained by Lord Krishna in this sloka, 21 sloka. Then 22nd sloka, Bhagavan says, you should be happy with whatever